Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. I hope you're having a good day. It's actually evening right now, and I thought I'd do a little video just to help kids out who are maybe doing their homework this weekend on adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So what we did this week is we actually started out, before we started adding and subtracting with just numbers, we actually looked at what it would look like, adding and subtracting fractions would look like with pictures. I can't do this justice on the digital version, but what we did do is play around with some digital pattern blocks to show what would happen when you add fractions with the same denominator or subtract fractions with the same denominator. Now, what you eventually get is you figure out that to do this, you add or subtract the numerators, which is the top number of the fraction. You keep the denominators the same, the bottom number of the fraction. And then you reduce to lowest terms, which is something that we've already been doing. So we started off looking at pictures, and then we gradually took it just to numbers. So these are some of the questions we did in class. I asked the kids to add or subtract and reduce to lowest terms. So first question we had was 1/8 plus 5/8. And I encouraged them to write them one fraction below the other for a couple of reasons. It looks more like a typical adding and subtracting question. And also, when we start doing adding and subtracting fractions with different denominators, this will help quite a bit if they get in the habit of writing one fraction below the other. So you add up the numerators, 1 and 5, you get 6, and you keep the common denominator of 8. Then the next thing you do is the stuff we've been working on for quite a while now, for about a week and a half, reducing the fractions to lowest terms. And I'm hoping they'll use mental math now. My hope is they would say, these are both even numbers, so I can divide the numerator and denominator by 2. And that makes the fraction 3/4. And that is the fraction in lowest terms. So that's basically how you add and subtract fractions with the same denominator. We'll do a few more questions here. So this question, 4/9 plus 2/9. And we'll total that up. You add up the numerators, 4 and 2, and that's 6. They both share a common denominator of 9. And there's your fraction, 6/9. 6 and 9 are both divisible by 3, so you would divide the numerator and denominator by 3, and you get 2/3. And that's the fraction in lowest terms. Now, these questions we've already done in our notebook. Ideally, the kids have these examples in their notebooks, but this is good for kids who are absent or maybe have trouble just looking back in their notebook and need an actual live version. So let's do number 3 here. So this is 7/10 plus 1/10. And to add these fractions, you add up the numerators. That adds up to 8. And the common denominator is 10. Hopefully you're recognizing that 8 and 10 are both even, so they can be divided by 2, and dividing by 2 means chop in half, and that's 4/5. And then the last question we did, 5/12 plus 1/12. They both have a common denominator of 12. You add up 5, you add up 1, you get 6/12. And then hopefully you're recognizing that 6 and 12 are both divisible by 6, or even better, you're recognizing that 6 is half of 12, right? So you divide the numerator and denominator by 6, and you get the fraction in lowest terms of 1/2. So that's how we do adding fractions with the same denominator, the same bottom number. And then subtracting. Subtracting is the exact same thing, except you subtract the numerators. So in this one, number 5, 11/12. Subtract 7 over 12. Put a line under. We're going to find the difference between 11 subtract 7, and that is 4. And we still have the common denominator of 12. So 4 over 12. And then always check if you can reduce that fraction to lowest terms. Well, I recognize here that I know 3 times 4 is 12, so I can divide the numerator and denominator by 4, and I get 4 divided by 4 is 1, 12 divided by 4 is 3. And that's where the kids really got to be practicing their multiplication and division facts, right? Because constantly using them. Now, the last 2 questions, a little bit of a different question. We have to think more about our fractions. We have the fraction 1 take away 6 over 10. And this could get a little confusing until you think of it like this. So 1 whole I can also think of as 10 over 10. Right? If I have a whole pizza, 1 whole, and I slice 10 pieces and I eat all 10 pieces, I've eaten the whole pizza. I've eaten 10 out of 10. The reason I chose to make that 1 whole 10 out of 10 is because this other fraction is 6 over 10. And then when I do that, I have 10 over 10, subtract 6 over 10. And then I would do it just like the other ones. 10 take away 6 is 4 over 10. 4 and 10 are both even numbers, so I know I can chop in half, and I get 2 over 5. That's the fraction in lowest terms. And then the very last question, 1 subtract 2 over 7. So again, I'll write one below the other. And I will think of 1 whole as 7 over 7. If I have a whole pizza and I cut 7 slices and I eat all 7, so I cut 7 slices and I eat all 7, I've eaten 7 out of 7 or 1 whole. And why did I choose to make this 7 out of 7? Because this fraction has a denominator of 7. So I'll do 7 over 7, subtract 2 over 7. 7 take away 2 is 5, and the common denominator is 7. Now, these are both prime numbers, so the only number I can divide into both is 1. And I always tell the kids, when you can only divide by 1, you're done. This fraction's in lowest terms. So adding and subtracting fractions. Now, I always tell the kids, the questions we do in class together, you've got to recognize those patterns in the assignment we do. So I gave them an assignment today, and they had a full period to work on it, so they should have gotten a good ways in it. It's the worksheet ML214. I had them do numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on the back of that page, the worksheet ML221, numbers 8, 9, and 10, I had them do those questions. What they have to do in their notebook is write the question down, because some of the questions involve getting a fraction from a picture. Then they have to add or subtract like we just did, and then they have to write in lowest terms. And that is due for Monday. So hopefully this video helps. Really enjoy your kids. They're really funny kids, really good kids, and they're doing really well in this sort of different kind of school. Have a nice weekend. Trust me, I'm flexing right now. Flexing Teacher Weber, out.